Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Oni, and I'm here with another artist spotlight. Today, I have the incredibly talented songwriter, singer, healer. Her name is Chavel Loves. Clap it up for Chavel. Wow, I'm super lucky. I get to be the first person to ask you all the questions that they want to know.
Okay, I'm
Your
excited.
comments be going crazy.
I know, they do be going crazy.
I won't ask all those questions.
Okay.
But yeah, we just finished a session. We're
did.
fresh out the booth. How do you feel about the last song we just did?
I feel great about the last song we did. I think that um, I'm in a space where I'm exploring different versions of myself. So different music and scenarios I get to write about is also surfacing. So I'm really excited to just see like how that comes up in my creativity.
That's hard for me to believe because you are such a strong writer, right? But again, it's always just the beginning. It's the beginning every day we wake up. So, but wow, I can't wait to see the other. You're like a very big onion. There's a lot of layers. There's a lot of layers going on. So for the most part, what we're gonna lock in on today is finding your message as an artist. Okay? Because that's my favorite thing about you. You're one of my favorite writers because you are so clear when it comes to your artistry. There's no question. There's no question about like if you're an artist. Like there's some people that are talented and they happen to sing. They don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
So they're gonna keep doing covers.
Right.
Or they'll call a songwriter. They need a songwriter to come help them out. But let's talk about your message. I feel like your message is number one for the girls.
I'm a girl's girl for sure.
I think this kind of stems from your name too.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your name, Chavel Loves.
Chavel Loves.
How did you come up with that name and what's the meaning behind it?
So Chavel is my middle name, actually. I'm not gonna tell nobody my first name is a secret. But Chavel is my middle name. And then love is God. God is love. So
what does love mean to you? Because that's a huge part of your whole, like, I feel like that's the foundation of all your work as an artist. So I'd love to hear like your definition or your backstory behind your relationship with love and what it means to you.
I think love is just the connection of everything. When I love something, I feel like it's a reflection of me, like in my journey. So like to love something is to like nurture it. And when I'm able to nurture other things, I'm also like nurturing myself. So if I had to give it a definition, I would say like, this is also from a book that I read, Bell Hooks, All About Love. But in the book, it says that love is the spiritual investment of something.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's such a good, and I love the way you always find a way to inject it into everything.
Yeah, it's just like my life, bro.
Like, I believe you because it's like almost everything you touch, it has that name on it too.
Yeah.
Like, you're so good in terms of, that's my favorite thing. Your messaging, like, you really know who you are. I think that's a part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you always been this person. I don't think it was hard for you to find this person.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna find out how she crafts this message because it's not just about authenticity. Like you've been writing for a long time before you even made music.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. We're gonna start there before we get all the way to the music.
Okay, for sure.
So when did you start falling in love with writing?
I started falling in love with writing probably at the age of like 13. I'm now 24, so.
And what did you write about?
Just poetry. I just wrote a lot of poetry, just about anything that I was experienced with. I was stuff at home or just like stuff in school. I mean, nothing like too deep, but just, it's just how I got my my feelings off, but I would hide. I was like, I'm 5'11". I'm damn near 6 feet tall. I'm real stacked out. But I was always like put in a box of just like being an athlete. Like, girl,
Right.
you better go pick up a basketball.
Oh my God. I went through the same thing.
And I was like, I want to sing, I want to write. They're like, no, you want to go to school. So, so I was always hiding in my art. But I've always been a writer.
Did you end up playing ball?
Yeah, I was. You better ask about it.
Nah, I didn't fall for the trap. I played I did one summer season, and I got nice, and then that was it. I was 13 because by the time I was 13, I was 6'1".
Yeah,
already. Yeah. So they were harassing me.
Right.
They were harassing me, and then I got to 6'4" by sophomore year.
Yeah, they was.
And I was like, I'm making music. So that's actually when I started my mentorship.
Okay.
But yeah, I just kind of fell into music. It didn't let me go anywhere.
Right.
So I know about your writing starting from social media.
Okay.
Right? But I guess so it started way before that.
Yeah, it started way before that, for sure.
Have you started any books? Or are you into books?
I am into books.
What kind of books?
I'm really into self-help books. Even though by nature, my life, I'm in my head, if I had to make a book about me, it would be fantasy fiction,
right.
But I don't like to read those type of books.
Okay. So if you were to write a book, what do you think it would be, a fiction book or?
So I'm writing this book right now, actually. And it's about my cats. I'm a cat lady, so bad, but
I would have never thought. I would have never thought that's what the book was going to be.
It's about kind of the essence of me and becoming an artist through my cat's eyes, though.
Oh, ooh, yeah, what? That's fire. That's like when Nas wrote a song where it was from the perspective of a gun. The whole record.
And I love stuff like that.
You only found out at the end of the song.
Yep.
It's called "Give You Power."
Okay.
I Gave You Power. So great.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
Yeah,
it'll give you some tips. But
right.
I think one of the books you gotta write is kind of like your TikTok. I love you have multiple pages. And I love it's like an advice column.
Yeah.
You could be in a magazine, you could write. I love your writing, and I feel like it just hasn't had a place to live. The container of TikTok. You started with social media, but to me, it's just gonna be a natural thing. It's oh, my book came out. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. But I feel like you just have so much love to give and information for the girlies out there.
For the girls.
You do a lot for them.
I do.
And even with your shows, you're all about female empowerment, bringing them together.
I am.
It's dope. The advice column, that's what I'm going to call it.
Okay.
I'm a little old school.
Okay.
But those were so famous. Those used to be the reason why a lot of magazines would sell or newspapers would sell, because the back of the newspaper had a fun game or a really good columnist. And you've poured a lot into it's like the SOS. It's gonna be okay. We see you.
Right.
You're not alone.
Right.
But sometimes you just be talking your shit too. Right. Obviously.
Often talking my shit. Yes.
So what sparked you to start that series of just quotables, kind of affirmative empowerment? Or just kind of what inspired you to be I got to keep these going?
I think I started it. I was in a not a weird relationship, different type of relationship that wasn't the most healthy for me. And at that time, I was like, damn, I really just need some sisterhood right now. I don't even want to I don't want to look at a man. I don't want to be around a man. I just need some girls. So it's just my source of connection. And I don't think that people understand in the process of me helping myself, to be a healer is to first start with you. So in the times of me like putting out my quotes, I'm healing myself.
So the community started just from self-help.
Yeah.
That's lit.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, this is going to be a book. There's a bunch of books like that, like coffee table books, where it's just like jokes, like a joke a day, or like advice, or spiritual things, or affirmations. And for me, your stuff is all of that in one.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the first song. Because I don't know how it didn't dawn on you, because you were doing all of this stuff with words on social media. And like you said, I guess you just kind of let it sit. Like you said, you were hiding.
Yeah.
You already explained that. Okay, I get it. I forgive you. But that's actually how we met.
Yes.
So funny thing is, I peeped that she was a writer. It's the producer in me. Like, I'm just like, because we were in a room full of people trying to write a song, and you were just kind of like, oh, I'll help you. I'll hang out. You were just there hanging out. You didn't really say anything about being a musical person. You were just kind of working at the spot.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, first of all, as a producer, I let people do their thing. I'm hands off with the writers. Like, okay, let's see what the writers can bring to the table. And there was a whole bunch of conversation, a whole bunch of people talking, throwing ideas at each other. And I was just sitting there, and I'm like, I'm gonna let 20 minutes happen before I say anything. And then I was listening for 20 minutes, and I was like, she got a lot of good ideas. She seems to have like some structure, some direction. I was like, so I like all the stuff you were saying. And then after the 20 minutes, I was like, all right, guys, so we on a clock. And if we actually want to get a demo down of this stuff, like, let's decide on something. And then from there, I just kind of was talking to you, even though I was talking to everybody. I knew you was going to hear me anyway. And then you and me started building, and then we already had a chorus, and everybody was just happy to be there.
Yeah, nice.
And then after that, I was like, are you an artist? Like, what's going on? She was like, no, I never. Like, you ever been in a booth? No, I never did that before. I'm like, you work here. You don't got no music. Crazy.
I know.
So I got lucky. I asked the right questions. It turns out you never made a song, nothing. So I got to be the first person to record and co-write with you and all of that. Crazy.
Yeah.
So that was like 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Right?
2 years. Ony.
Yeah. Hey, yo, she been putting in work like she a veteran.
Yeah.
All right? You already got 3 songs out.
I do have 3 songs out.
We got a bunch in the vaults.
So much.
She got a whole project cooking up.
I'm just cooking, y'all. I'm sweating, cooking, tears.
No. I think like, that's why I love where your creativity comes from. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like you cry and then you make a song. It's like you are a listener. There's I kind of see the 2 categories of people. I feel like there's a category of channeler, and then there's listener. And you channel, but not for your creativity. You listen, and then you put stuff together. Right?
That's true.
It's really dope.
That's really true.
So I remember when we wrote our first song together, you were kind of just like, I got all of these words. So I want to get to that, because you're a lyricist first and foremost. She has a beautiful voice. Don't get it twisted. But for all those people out there that are really strong vocalists and really strong with melody, how do you get started with your songwriting? How do these words start getting put together? Do you have like a workflow that you usually do? What's the system?
I freestyle. And then I record it on my phone or whatever.
Hold up. So you got beats already. So you have to have a beat first.
Right. I have a beat first, yes.
So you don't write without beats?
No. I mean, sometimes, like, I'm also like I'm the woo lady. Like, I'm real, like, things that talk to me. But yeah, sometimes like the words will just come. And like, I know that's just like the worst.
Without the beat.
I know that's the worst advice, but like, it doesn't come, like, it takes me to be in a certain place for me to like be getting words.
Bingo. Now we really at the beginning.
Okay.
So let's talk about that.
Right.
Because that means you gotta lock in on your workflow.
Right.
Then. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is this place that we enter into when we're listening? We're listening to ourselves, and then we decide, "Ooh, I better write that down."
Right. Where is this place? I will say it's a very sober place. I think that like I get my most words after a place of just like no drinking, abstinent, no smoking, like really like just God, this is what I want. Like this is what I'm feeling, this is what I want. I don't just get these words, I have to ask for them.
That's gem. That's a gem. I'm gonna put a little alarm sound. Ding, 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 ding. That was such a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So, guys, tip number 1, write down your inner thoughts. Like the stuff that you're really asking for, the stuff that you're really praying for, the stuff that you really want. Have you written that down? It could just be a thought. It's okay. Like writing your thoughts. So you want something so much, like you make sure you write it down.
Yeah. And I pray on it. I just talk to God. I'm like, God, this is how I'm feeling. Like, use me to like express that. And also, like, I think one of my main purposes as an artist is to like be used. Like, I want it all to come back. I don't want to be like, I don't want to, not that I don't want to be I don't want to be famous or like, but like I want to be a reflection of God's like, actually.
Like the impact.
Right. Like, where does this come from? Why does she do this? How does she write like this? Like, God, how can you use me? What words can you give me to like, for it all to come back to you? And even at the moment, if I'm writing some like crazy stuff and it's like, this is some sin you talking about, like there's a story that I'm telling, and at the end point, it's always going to come back to that.
That's a prompt for ChatGPT. I'm about to try that. God, how can you use me? Right? No, that's really like the prompt for every writer. Like if you're not asking yourself that question at least once a week, what are you writing about?
Right, exactly. What are we talking it's gotta
about? Be in the mix.
Right.
Word. Like I hear you on the fame thing too, because sometimes fame is just like it's a certain type of connection. But your goal as an artist is to say, like, I've impacted these many hundreds or thousands or millions of people have been able to like get that lift that they needed, right? Maybe they're picking themselves off the floor, or maybe you're just helping them maintain them being back on point or whatever it is. But yeah, that's always been the thing. Like, I feel like that's also been behind the posts and the writing before the music.
Yeah.
So that's a great place to start with on the songwriting, okay? Which may or may not happen with the beats. But if you got some beats, then you just start freestyling.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then, I mean, I got to be there for the first session, so... Top line melody writing, I'm a big advocate for top lining, which is just like, you're freestyling melodies. Sometimes you're freestyling words too.
Yeah.
But I feel like you have the book tucked of like, I've written all of this stuff and I'm going to start grabbing from here and there.
Yeah. It's also about the music I listen to too. Something that I'm like realizing recently is like sometimes we get so caught up in this idea of like, oh, I'm copying or something.
Right.
And it's like when you're pulling from a certain place, it's like it's what you're supposed to do. Like it's not yours. You don't own this. This is God's.
Right.
So for me, like a melody will come to me from maybe a different song and I'll put different like words on it, but I'm like, this is God's.
Exactly. Because the brain is just a bank account.
Right.
So you just put in the right things in your account so you could pull it out later. Make sure you know the difference between an interpolation and being influenced. Is a difference.
For sure. Yes.
So like Cardi B, she gave credit to Kodak Black for Bodak Yellow.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like sometimes it's like, straight up taking it. Other times it's very subtle. Like Pharrell is a ninja with that.
That's how I am.
Poor Pharrell. Like he was in court for a long time because he don't even understand.
Right. And you don't even realize it sometimes. You like, dang, I didn't even realize I got it from this place. But it's just like I'm so tapped into a conscious collective. And as artists, like most of us are tapped into that place.
Where that's the listening.
Right.
That's the listening.
Yeah.
I feel like the channeling is different because I consider it's similar to the listening thing because again, you're listening to your inner thoughts. You've got stuff that you've accumulated in your mind, which is fine. But channeling is when you're not even thinking. It's just happening. It's coming out of you. And you can almost get familiar with whatever the origin of that idea or thing is coming from. Because for me, I realized that I could synthesize two things. Like, oh, you want to do a Barry White type beat with a Beyonce type vocal? We could do that on purpose. That's synthesizing. Take this and that and make something new. But channeling is like, I'm damn near drooling on myself because I'm just so zoned out. And there's a point, it's like, I'm going to start a song. And then you're just like waking up. Right. And like, whoa, where did this come from? Right, yeah. So that's what I define as like the channeling. It's when you're so zoned out and it's not coming from a conscious thought. It came from somewhere else. Yeah. And I don't even think the subconscious either. Yeah. I really could. It's almost like a physical sensation, kind of like a radio transmitter, right? Like they have the picture with the electric thunderbolt hitting the top of the tower. That's how I feel when the channeling is happening. Yeah. Or like the dreams. Do you write from dreams? You ever did any songwriting or music making from dreams? No. You never dreamed about music either?
My dreams are odd. Actually.
That has nothing to do with your songwriting.
My dreams is like, I don't know, I'm resting.
So for me, channeling happens, I could be asleep and I'll wake up and I'll make exactly what was going on in my dreams.
That's very special.
That happens to me too. So there's a difference between channeling and listening. And I love the way you listen. Thank you. Because I can't even, when I hear you, it's like, you don't sound like nobody. So, but definitely if it's an interpolation, make sure you don't get got. Yeah. But no, you don't. It's like a feeling more than anything else. Yeah. I always talk about Thames because when I think about you, Thames is the only other artist that gives me that kind of feeling that I can think of. Like, we don't need no backgrounds. You just sing. You locked in right now, please. Yeah. How is it transitioning from being a songwriter to being a recording artist in the booth? Do you feel like they have become one yet, where your writing and your work as a vocalist is now becoming one thing?
Yes.
What did it take for you to get to that point?
I'm going to be honest, Ony, you played a very big impact on that process.
Shout out to me.
Shout out, Ony. You're just like, recording is a part of the writing process.
Oh, right.
Recording is you put that in my head, and then I downloaded BandLab on my phone, and now I don't write it on paper. I record it.
Keep capturing it. Yeah. So you write with the pen.
Yeah.
I mean, you write with the mic.
I write with the mic now.
You write with the mic more than the pen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that helped. So all of that practicing of recording your... that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So now it's like...
Listen to my advice, guys. All right?
You drilled that in my head.
I post about it.
Recording is I'm part of the writing process. I was like...
Recording is a part of the songwriting process.
But it is, and it's really helped me just add so much dimension to my songs that's just more me. Because, I'm like, oh, well.
And you're getting nice with the backgrounds.
Yeah.
Your we used a couple of her backgrounds from BandLab and put it right in the final version of the song.
Me too.
Because I was like, we using this. I don't care if it was recorded. And you can't even tell, right? It's like, but I always, for the lead vocal, you gotta have, studios are very important. It's a very important environment to get your muscles stronger. It's like the gym for your artistry and your creativity. So it's really important to write sometimes in the studio, putting yourself in a 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute, or a collaborative. Like the studio changes the outcome every single time. But more than anything, because you can write and record anywhere now, the post-production, the final mixing and mastering, like you can't replace a studio. Let's get back to finalizing your songs, because you're nice on BandLab now. At this point, you put in so many reps.
Right, y'all better follow me on BandLab.
You got you put in a lot of reps on BandLab, and I feel like that really accelerated the process, even though you were already a strong writer. But let's talk about how do you know when a song is finished for you?
When like as far as just like the sound of it, or like the feeling of finished, or both?
What? Yeah, that.
Okay, both.
All of that.
Okay, so
because that's a challenge for a lot of writers out there.
Yeah,
like, it's kind of like, is it done? Am I good enough?
Yeah,
because there's that gray line. They start going into their insecurities and their confidence versus like, I said what I had to say. How do you know when you've gotten it out?
So I write from experience, and when I like put my music out, like I'm ready to release it. Like, you know, we talk about like releasing music, like it's something that I'm really like releasing inside of me. So like the feeling is like I'm over it. Y'all can hear it now. And the sound of it.
Y'all can have it's a hand-me-down.
It's not, but it's also like
closure.
I'm learning that, like, I think in the beginning of like my creativity, I would go into things open wound, like heal with me, and it's like, that's not what you do, boo.
So make sure you have closure on the thing you want to say,
right?
And then so that would make it easier for you to know if you've said everything you needed to say about that.
Exactly. And also, like, if anybody else has anything to say about your experience, I've handled it. I don't, like, I don't have to.
So now you're ready for the feedback.
I'm ready for feedback, right? And then, like, if I'm open wounded, like, I'm so, like, vulnerable. I'm mad. I'm catching an attitude, like, oh, you don't like this?
Or we might be crying in the booth.
Right. And it's just like...
You haven't done that in the studio, but I have a few clients. We need 5-minute breaks. Like, let's just
relax.
Yeah, let's stop for a second.
Right.
Because we can't really record.
Yeah.
And literally, we can't record because we're not ready.
Right.
We're not ready yet.
Right.
That's a gem number 2.
For real, though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing that I feel like is a big challenge for people, that was great advice.
Thank you.
Let's take a step back into the middle section.
Okay.
Because the editing, we have to edit to the finish.
Yeah.
What does that look like for you? You're editing as a recording artist more than a writer, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you're on the BandLab so much.
I mean, yeah. Editing, I guess, like, because even me and you, we'll have like a couple sessions before we finish a song, and then first I have my demo that I did on BandLab, and it's like, okay. And then I'll take what we have and I'll put that in BandLab. Or like I'll try my best.
You'll sing along with the reference.
Yeah, I'll sing and then I'll edit from there. Yeah.
I never thought of that before.
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting to a point now where like I'm using Logic more and like understanding it better as far as just like my editing process. But like, still learning. So BandLab she's my friend right now.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with BandLab.
But like soon we'll have to break up.
So you got Logic now.
Yeah.
Oh, she upgraded. She's a professional.
I'm upgrading now.
Professional. Okay, that's what's up. I mean, you was getting good with Pro Tools already before.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. And you already have 3 songs out in 2 years. We're about to drop a project, a whole body of work.
A whole body of work.
I call it the daily medicine, like your songs. And I want to talk about Healer, because Healer's coming out.
Don't you run around with it.
You got big moods, I can feel you, I mean, I get it. I'm a believer, I know that you'll take it far. And when you're feeling low, no, I still see a star. Cause when I think about that baby boy, that little child in you, I can really see
What
where.
made you decide to leak the song with that crazy video? That video is beautiful, by the way.
Right, shout out Only Vibes.
Facts.
Yeah, so I was just impatient, and Jeremiah, who was the owner of Only Vibes, he was like, "Come on, sing something." Basically, like, you have to let's go. Like, he's very advocate about content. So I was like, okay, I have a song, and
right,
I did that song, and it was a hit. We were like, "We need this one."
when I posted that, like, I got the craziest DMs.
Yeah. Shout out all your people too, because I also got crazy DMs. A lot of love.
Let's talk about Healer, right? Mm-hmm. So you said pretty much a lot of your music is autobiographical. Mm-hmm. You were in a space, mm-hmm. you got some closure on this space, and you were ready to share it.
Yes.
So where does this song come from? Because this is a big anthem. This is a lover's anthem.
This is a lover's anthem.
This is that different kind of love right here. This is not
that sacrificial.
Yes. You took it all the way there in a way that, like, I don't think anybody thought about. That's what's so clever about it. Because people talk, like, you see it, and like a bad example would be like Harriet Tubman. Okay.
Right.
Like, why we always got to see stories like that to learn about that kind of love?
It's true, though.
You feel me? And so the way that you bring that to the forefront without all of that is, like, really beautiful. Aww. And so, where did this song come from?
So I tell people that I don't write about people. Like, you'll never hear me write a song and I'm like, this is about this person. It's more about, like, a collective of people and, like, or a collective of, like, a feeling that all these people gave me. But when I was writing it, the first person I really thought of was just, like, my father. So that just stemmed in, like, this is how I learned to love. I think when I wrote that song, it was like this turning point of me realizing, wow, my parent is an actual human being. And then that gave me a reflection on how I choose to, like, love these men too. And it's very just like, I see you type of energy.
Oh my God. That's so fire.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. No, it's true. Like, I didn't realize it till now. Like, for me, my dad, he's older and he's coming to that point of his life. So I was, like, understanding that depth of love. Like, wow, like you said, like, this isn't my parent. He's not just my parent.
Right. Like, you're a person.
Yeah, that needs to be cared for. Right. That needs a lot of gaps needs to get filled.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're just another human. And wow, that's such a good answer.
Yeah, thanks. It's so true, though. Yeah, it's just, also just me dealing with my own, like, inner child work, just put into perspective with everybody. Like, y'all are all dealing with, like, this little person inside of you.
Not to mention you teaching people, like, how to love. You know what I'm saying? Here's the definition of healer. Listen, guys, please. This song is coming out November 22nd. You need to check it out.
Check it out, please.
It's incredible. Your project is incredible.
Thank you.
You don't sound like a new artist at all. Like, it blows my mind that, this is, like, your first project even, because it don't sound like that at all. It sounds like it's a team of 80 people.
It'd be me and Ony.
Anyway, so I'm really excited. Thank you so much for making Healer. Oh. Like, that song, it's got a lot of mileage. It's got a lot of mileage on it. And you've been performing a lot especially in Philly. You're pretty much
Yes.
in the tri-state area.
Yes.
So guys, make sure you tap in with Chavel. She got a lot of shows. She's been performing very consistently, dropping new
Yes.
music consistently.
Yes.
Let the people know, where can they find you? What's your socials?
Okay. You can find me on social media. My Instagram is Chavel Loves, ChavelLoves.
Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sure you got at least one gem. Keep writing. Don't give up on yourself. And start listening to yourself so much that you have to write down all your thoughts, because you don't know how many songs are going to come out of that.
That's so true.
Thank you so much for tapping into the Artist Spotlight. I got another episode coming out every Tuesday. And make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Any questions you have for me or Chavel, leave them in the comments. We're going to get back to you. We love talking to you guys, answering any questions. So until next time, peace. Have a good one.
Bye, y'all.
That's that.
Fire!